Good afternoon.
I'm Caroline Pernat, Student Council President.
And I'm Lizzie Williamson, and on behalf of Chanhassen High School's 2019 graduates,
we would like to welcome you to the 9th commencement exercises of Chanhassen High School.
We are Chan.
مساء الخير وأهلا وسهلا. معكم كرم أحمد الشلبي نيابة عن خريج الثانوية تشانهاسن لعام 2019. نود أن نرحب بكم في حفل تخريج الدفعة التاسعة لثانوية تشانهاسن، وشكرا لكم ومبروك يا خريجين 2019.
Dobro wieczór, ja Maja Welichkiewicz, imię uczennika średniej szkoły Chanhassen. Żelim was dobro doszlicu na dziewiętoroczną ceremonię. Miss Mokchan.
尊敬的来宾们，大家晚上好，我叫谢 Kerry， 我代表2019年 Chanhassen 高中的春季毕业生，欢迎您参加我们第9季 Chanhassen 高中第一典礼。
ជំរាបសួរ ខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះ Anthony Meng តាំងនាមសិស្សទាំងអស់ដែលបញ្ចប់ការសិក្សាឆ្នាំ 2019 នៅវិទ្យាល័យ Chanhassen ពួកយើងសូមស្វាគមន៍លោកអ្នកទាំងអស់មកកាន់កម្មវិធីបញ្ចប់ការសិក្សាលើកទី 9 របស់វិទ្យាល័យ Chanhassen នាពេលនេះសូមអរគុណ We are Chan.
Guten Abend, ich bin Branda Gilbertson. Im Namen von allen Chanhassen High School Absolventen 2019 willkomme ich Sie zur 8. Abschlussfeier der Chanhassen High School. Wir sind Chan.
Gott kvöld, ég heiti Svana Þórisdóttir. Fyrir hönd 2019 árgangs Chanhassen High School vil ég bjóða ykkur velkomin til 9. útskriftar Chanhassen High School. Við erum Chan, ávaxtatippi.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Angela Park입니다. Chanhassen High School 2019 9번째 졸업식을 환영합니다.
Sabaidi, Kanoi, Jelena Buta, Yindi Tima Ham, Class of Song Pansip Kao, Chanhassen High School, Kalkop Jailalai.
Boa tarde, meu nome é Luiz Grierson. Em nome dos formandos de Chanhassen High School 2019, gostaríamos de lhes dar as boas-vindas ao 8º exercício de início da escola secundária. Nós somos Chan.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Laura Moreno. En nombre de los graduandos del 2019, nos gustaría darles la bienvenida a la ceremonia de graduación de la 9ª promoción de bachilleres de la Escuela de Chanhassen. Somos Chan.
galab wanaagsan magacayga Salmo waay maanta waa ku faraxsanahay intaan la joogtiin maanta waxa waaye 2019 maanta waa qalin jebista marka waa ku faraxsanahay intaan la joogtiin anaga Chanhassen.
God kväll, jag heter Justina Dudziak. På uppdrag av Chanhassen skola 2019 studenter, vi vill välkomna dig till 8:e studentfirande av Chanhassen klass. Vi är Chan.
Buju Nandana Waname Ugan Awami Gwech Omeha Behi Iza Awag Mino Bitakak. Chanas.
Dobro večer, moje ime je Ajlo Voljevica. Želim vam dobrodošlicu na ceremoniju dodjela diploma za 2019. godinu, 9. generacija Chanhassen High School. Hvala.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dick Unger, and I have the honor of serving as the principal of Chanhassen High School. And it is my pleasure to welcome you, members of the graduating class of 2019, District 112 staff, Superintendent Christopher, representatives of the school board, parents, relatives, and friends, to Chanhassen High School's 9th commencement exercises. Before we begin our addresses this afternoon, I'd like to first thank our student musicians and their directors for sharing their talents with us. The Chanhassen High School Symphonics Band under the direction of Mr. Alex Plum. Let's give those guys a round of applause. And of course, the high school concert choir under the direction of Mrs. Sarah Gilbertson. Each year I get the honor of speaking after the tribute to the senior class song, and each year I try not to look at Mrs. Gilbertson as she weeps, looking at the seniors that are about to graduate. So thanks again for that, Sarah. I'd also like to take a moment to introduce those on the stage with us today, and I would ask them to stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause until all of them have been recognized. Superintendent Clint Christopher, Assistant Superintendent Amy Ledoux, School Board Chair Tim Klein, School Board Vice Chair and Clerk Jeffrey Ross, School Board Treasurer Amy Logue, School Board Director Lisa Anderson, School Board Director Ron Meyer, School Board Director Fred Berg, School Board Director Jenny Stone, Assistant Principal Aaron Swoboda, Assistant Principal and Athletic Director Cullen Bond, Assistant Principal and Activities Director Jim Swearingen, and Principal of the IA, Tara Kolsis. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, now I'd like to introduce Erin Swoboda. As I said, she's one of our assistant principals who will be introducing our first student speaker. Erin?
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations. You made it, and we're so proud of you. Tonight, I have the honor and privilege of introducing our first student speaker. I am honored, as you know, to serve as your assistant principal, and am very excited to celebrate with you tonight. Aaliyah Penny Alness is the daughter of Tina and James Alness, and the proud older sister of one brother. Aaliyah describes herself as compassionate and creative, as well as a quiet force of authentic good. One of her teachers has noted both of those things about her, and she's very proud of those notations. While a student at Chanhassen High School, Aaliyah was a Link Crew leader, a mentor to incoming freshmen, and as a Link Crew leader, Aaliyah was passionate about building strong relationships with Chanhassen's freshman class while embracing them and making them feel so welcome in an unfamiliar place. Aaliyah was also a participant in our school's Southwest Metro Co-op program and took photography there for 3 years. She won many awards during that time. This school year, she was a contestant in the annual Skill USA competition and became the first place medalist in the high school photography division. She is incredibly thrilled to move on to nationals during the summer. After MCTC, she plans on attending Loyola Marymount University to study screenwriting. Her biggest dream is to pursue writing for film and television, and while doing so, she is currently working on producing her very first novel. One of her favorite quotes is from Marilyn Monroe: "Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring." Her speech today is entitled Youth. Please welcome Aaliyah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I feel so incredibly special to be up here on this stage today, surrounded by all my peers, my teachers, and my family. I would, of course, like to begin with a few thank yous to all of the teachers and Chanhassen faculty members for providing us with so much guidance over the past 12 years. Thank you to the parents and the guardians who have supported our endeavors and showed us endless love as we have grown. Thank you to all of the members of the class of 2019 and anyone else present today who has or will commit themselves to the military. We thank you for your service. And to all of our future educators, thank you for taking it upon yourselves to educate the children of our future. I would like to present a few personal thank yous to the teachers that have seen me quite literally to the end. Mrs. Mary Barrett, Miss Lara Etnier, and Mr. Shane Fisher. They've all been a part of my life since freshman year and have taught me so many extraordinary things that I will take with me beyond this next chapter of my life. They've shown me nothing but so much love and so much compassion and enlightenment, more than they'll ever get enough credit for. And for that, I am forever grateful for them. I'm so thankful every day that these three beautiful souls have been in such a big part of my life. I would also like to thank Mr. Andrew Powell. Wow, what a guy. I've graciously known this man since my sophomore year, and it's just been an incredible and insightful experience ever since. I thank him for showing me so many different ways of the world and teaching me that there is so much more to it than what is seen on the surface. That is the greatest philosophy that I've learned from him. Of course, I must also pay my recognition to a teacher I've only met this year, but he has just as equally encouraged me, seen me flourish, and has supported my endeavors every step of the way, Mr. William Theobald. You know, as a math teacher, I wasn't expecting to like him very much. Anyone will tell you that math isn't really my brightest subject. First day of senior, I dreaded going to third period pre-college math. I mean, the name speaks for itself. I mean, it's not calculus or trigonometry. I digress. But you know, as someone who was barely passing Algebra 2, that sounded really hard. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Mr. Theobald, he inspired me. And it wasn't just because of his quirky attitude or those beautiful wavy brown locks of his, but because he turned math into a different perspective for me. He showed me a different way of getting things done without the headache. As he liked to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat, fish. So I thank Theobald a lot for finally making things click for me. I would also like to thank Mr. Wright Brott, who has been my photography instructor at the Southwest Metro Co-op for the past 3.5 years, as well as Mr. John Rosh, who saw me at the beginning of my journey and had believed in me, encouraged me on the thing that I love doing most, capturing life in the moment. I thank the both of them for being a part of my life, for all the crazy, wild, and exciting moments we had in and out of the studio. Man, what a journey. I also have to thank my first and second grade teacher, Mrs. Brianna Nessheim, because she is the one who saw that bright light in me first. And of course, I have to thank the class of 2019. I think it goes without saying that many of you have shaped me the way that I am today, regardless if I have known you personally. Everyone here had a role, and no matter how small, you were all there just as you are here. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad in between, but without one, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the other, as oddly as that sounds. So at the end of the day, let's face the fact, 1,369 days ago, yes, we entered into the brick building of Chanhassen High School. But we are not the same people walking out. And who we are now? Well, a lot of us are still trying to figure that out. And that's okay. So this one is for you guys. They don't sell train tickets to your future. And even if they did, I don't think I know which stop to ride to. Or maybe I'd fall asleep with a backpack as a pillow and wake up 600 miles from where I was supposed to be. The world is shaped on ambition, on the drive to succeed. There are hardly any places for a quiet soul like me. Sometimes I feel like everyone has already taken their train, while I've yet to leave. Why has success become a synonym for wealth? Why do we pay people to do things that make them miserable? How come firefighters make less than lawyers? Anna St. Vincent Millay once said, childhood is not from birth to a certain age or at a certain age. The child is grown and has put away childish things. Childhood is the kingdom where nobody dies. As a child, we had grown to believe that we could be absolutely anything to our heart's desire. But when that same child grows up and is forced away to put away those childish things and be forced to face the hard realities of life, those dreams, those ambitions, the future that motivated that child to wake up every day, it fades away. It gets spoiled rotten by reality. There are infinite universes that live and die under the fingertips of choices. So be in the universe where you make yourself proud. Be in the one where you go on that adventure, even if your mother feels a cold wind down her spine. Be in the one where you dye your hair every color that you've dreamed about for years now. Be in the tattooed future, the era of loving you. Choose the high road when the flood comes around. If you slip up and drown, you can at least say to yourself you at least tried to get to better ground. When you are like me and stuck making the same self-destructive choices, choose a universe where you sometimes forgive yourself for it. Choose a universe where you are the combat kid, and in spite of a litany of mistakes, you made it. Choose to allow yourself the bad choices, the choices you couldn't really make, staying in bed or having to work instead of write, or not being able to study for that test because your brain feels like it's evaporating. Choose to give yourself a bubble bath on the night you fail your final. Choose to make cookies when you cannot be a good friend, a sister, a son, or a daughter. Choose to forgive and forgive and forgive every bad choice, because there will come a time when you must make a choice again. And at some point in the future, you will learn to turn the car of your body out of the spiral and make the choice that you've wanted to for a while. I mean, who says we're in the universe where our dreams are unrealistic? Who says you can't be the teacher, the writer, the dancer, the designer, or whoever you want to be that makes it big for themselves? Who says we can't make this earth move, choose our own dream over and over and over until one day the dream chooses us? And if you're like me, if what's holding you back is your own body, a mind like acid, or peers who want you to reek of self-doubt, kiss up at the stars for the version of you that is out there living exactly how you want to be, without a slurry of problems. Choose to be proud of who you already are, who you've become in despite of a million bad choices and a million times you didn't have a choice in the slightest. And when you look back at what you've overcome, choose to keep fighting. Choose the extra slice of cake. Choose the wine date with the best friend. Choose to stop the car just to take a picture of the sunset. Choose an extra shower. Choose to read a poem. Choose to put the next sentence of your novel on a napkin. Choose to take your dreams off their shelf. Choose well. Choose yourself. If J.K. Rowling can do it, so can you. As for me, I like not knowing what person I'll be. It's like a story that's still not complete. But what I do know is this: I'm going to get to the point where I feel happy. I'm going to grow up and be the person that loves me. The future is and should be bright. What makes life valuable is that it ends and that it doesn't last forever. What makes it precious is that it does end. I know that now more than ever. And I say it today of all days to remind us that time is luck. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Make yours count for something. Fight for what matters to you, no matter what. Because even if you fall short, what better way is there to live? You aspire to great things. Begin with the little ones. Don't be so easily moved by the things that don't benefit the well-being of your soul. Because time waits for no one. And you're going to wish that you've spent more time investing in yourself into the things that your heart longed for. Replace the fear of the unknown with curiosity. Because you know what's weird? Day by day, nothing seems to change. But pretty soon, everything's different. You are here today not because it's the end, and by you sitting here, you've made it. And I am so proud of you. The class of 2019, I am so proud of you for making it this far, for pulling through even on your darkest days when the only sane reaction seemed to be was giving up. This isn't the end. This is only the beginning. You have the ability and the time to make yourself who you want to be because youth has no age. Make your life a story worth telling. There will come a time when you'll bleed less, when your words will grow wings, when your tale shall set you free. You will understand the song the blackbirds murmured, the whisper of your childhood trees. The trail of breadcrumbs that leads you to memories you can still breathe. There will come a time when your voice will no longer be a stranger, when your body will be an altar, when your scars will not burn but shine like stars. When love will find you, you'll have sand in your hair and gold in your eyes and moon-dusted skin. You will write yourself into the poem you longed to be in. Thank you.
Grateful And I'm grateful for the memories of the life and the love I have known. And I want you to know, not everything is changing. There's a place deep in my heart that will stay. So when I see the open sky, I will choose to flow. I am still your
Good afternoon, Storm Nation. My name is Cullen Bond. I'm the athletic director and assistant principal here at Chanhassen High School. I have the privilege to introduce our next speaker. The class of 2019 has selected Mr. Shane Fisher to speak on their behalf. Mr. Fisher is completing his 5th year in education, the last 4 being here at Chanhassen High School. Over the past 4 years, he has had the opportunity to teach various classes in the social studies department, which has allowed him to get to know many of our graduates we see before us. His upbeat personality, great sense of humor, love for teaching, and true passion for kids makes him a tremendous educator, and we're happy and lucky to have him here at Chanhassen High School. Outside the classroom, he's student council advisor, link crew leader, and on Friday nights, he helps us in the booth with the clock at the football games. When not at school, Shane loves anything and everything history, movies, books, podcasts, documentaries, you name it, he loves it. He's an avid outdoorsman, always up for a good hike, a little grilling, a good run. And he's lucky, and Shane and his wife, Kelly, are proud parents of their 2-year-old son, Levi, who Shane describes as the happiest kid in the world. Shane will be graduating from his master's program this November in educational leadership and strongly believes in the power of positivity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give us a warm storm welcome for Mr. Shane Fisher.
Thanks for the introduction, Mr. Bond. Good afternoon, families, friends, colleagues, and the graduating class of 2019. First, I just want to start by saying that I love this graduating class. Serving you over the last 4 years has been such a privilege for me, and it's such an honor to have been selected by you to speak here today. Now, This is more for parents. Back in April, our school started planning a fundraiser for cancer research. I agreed that if our school raised $2,000, I would shave my head. This was before the senior class voted on who would be speaking. I'm bald today, so we raised our goal. I wrote down on my paper here, insert bald joke here. Just tell me your best one when I see you at your grad party. Now, the class of 2019 will always hold a special place in my heart because we had our first day of school at Chanhassen High together. This is actually the tie I was wearing that day. Monday, August 31st, 2015. It was my first day of teaching at Chanhassen High School. And as incoming freshmen, it was your first day of high school. Taylor Swift had recently began to shake off country music and turn pop. I think we were all a little bit confused by it, but at the same time, we kind of liked it. Converse and Birkenstocks hadn't made their comeback yet, so to be honest, I don't know what you had on your feet that day. Uptown Funk was the most popular song on the radio, and no matter how many times you tell me you don't like that song, you can't help but dance and sing along when it comes on the radio. And lastly, all of you had yet to teach me who Post Malone was. I just assumed he was someone who delivered mail. Or better yet, parents, I thought possibly he was related to the mailman, NBA legend Karl Malone himself. Turns out that wasn't the case. Aside from recognizing that I was no longer hip, I'm not sure who was more nervous for that first day of school in 2015. I was a relatively inexperienced teacher. I needed to pretend like I knew what I was doing. And at the same time, it was your first day of high school. You had outfits to worry about, had to figure out your hair for the day, thought of making friends or who to sit with at lunch. And I'm sure most of you still don't even know how our house offices being named after trees works. Maple, pine, spruce, oak, north, south, I don't know. So I checked my roster from 2015, and 140 of you were in my world history class that year, and about that same amount were in my sophomore U.S. history class the next year. And then about that same amount were in my criminal justice class the next year, or the year after. And I was utterly shocked on the first day of school. As everyone entered, they said hello and good morning, which hadn't been my experience at the other schools I taught in. And as everyone left, they said, "Have a nice day," and "Thank you." I was really confused why people were thanking me for delivering a history lesson, but I really liked it. It boosted my confidence in an odd way. And so it was at that time that I realized that there was something uniquely kind and positive about this graduating class. Google told me that the point of having a teacher speak at graduation isn't to tell bald jokes, but that it is supposed to be my opportunity to give you words of wisdom or life advice. As a history teacher, we tell a lot of stories in my classroom. And a lot of them have deeper meanings, and I like to trickle in my own life lessons and interpretations whenever appropriate. But for today, I wanted to pick a story that hopefully none of you had heard in my class before, which was kind of difficult. It's a story that I actually first heard when I was about your age. I've changed it a little bit, but the story originates as an old Cherokee legend. And for those of you who don't know, my grandmother was Cherokee. Her American Indian name was Night Fawn. She taught me a lot about life and how to enjoy all the little everyday things. She was always dancing to her favorite Elvis songs when they came on, or shimmying to my rap music that I played too loud. Just constantly spreading joy to others, and every memory that I have of her is positive. She was just an incredibly selfless person, so I'd like to honor her by sharing my version of a Cherokee legend tonight. I call it The Man and the Snake. Back in the age of Western expansion, what we refer to as manifest destiny in U.S. history, there was a young man headed out west. See, at this point in time in U.S. history, The West was a land full of opportunity. And similar to you, this young man was beginning his life's journey as an adult, and he was ready to seize that opportunity. Because of the American dream, similar to you, the young man knew that he could become whatever he wanted. So as he was heading out west and riding through the Rocky Mountains, he encountered a rattlesnake. To his astonishment, this rattlesnake could speak. The snake asked him if he could get a ride down the mountain, where he could get to the lower valley where it was warmer. You see, snakes are exothermic creatures, which means they're dependent on outside temperatures for warmth. I hope that's right. Since the snake was old and slow, it could take him days to get down the mountain by himself, and so he wanted the help of the cowboy, so he could freeze to death if he didn't make it to the valley where it was warmer. The young man had read all about rattlesnakes in books back east. So without hesitation, the young man replied to the rattlesnake, "Absolutely not. You're a rattlesnake. Everyone knows how dangerous you are. If I give you a ride, you'll bite me, and that'll be the end of me. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to find another way down the mountain into the valley." After begging and pleading from the snake, the young man finally agreed to give it a ride down the mountain to lower elevation where it was warmer. The ride was actually quite nice. As the man set the snake on his saddle and they headed down the mountain, they spoke about the young man's journey, his hopes, his dreams, and where he would live, what he would become, a lot of the things that are on your mind here tonight. And as they reached the bottom of the mountain, the young man went to set the snake on the ground. And as he kindly went to set him on the ground, the snake said, "Thank you." And then he bit the young man. The man screeched in pain, "You bit me! You promised me that if I gave you a ride down the mountain, you wouldn't bite." To that, the snake had a quick response. "I'm a rattlesnake. That's what I do. I bite people." That's the end of the story. Class of 2019, you are about to embark on an amazing journey, starting your life as an adult. You have so many opportunities ahead of you, so much to be excited for. But with opportunity comes a lot of choices. I want you to understand that there are certain things in life that will always bite you. Negativity, pessimism, drugs, alcoholism, selfishness, putting down others, the list goes on, and those things will take away from your journey in life. But there are certain things that will always add to your journey in life, and even act as antidotes when you get bit and when times get tough. Positivity, kindness, selflessness, caring for others. Those are a few that come to my mind. You have the power to also be the antidote when other people get bit as well. How you treat people, the words you say, your daily actions matter. They can either lift people up or put them down. I encourage you to be a lifter. So, there's no question that during your life, you're going to get a few bites. There's going to be setbacks, difficult times, losses, and you'll occasionally be tested to the very depths of your soul. But if you continue to remember the power of positivity and kindness, you will find that your life's journey will be a joy. At the same time, your kindness and positive nature will help make the journey of others a joy as well. So on a final note, I'd like to do something that I've done with every class, every year, every week that I've been a teacher. In my classroom, we like to celebrate the little things. High fives for seemingly no reason. Knucks for just showing up that day. One thing that we do in my class is at the beginning of every Friday, we clap. The students refer to it as giving it up for Fridays. I think most students are just excited that the school week's over and they're ready for the weekend. But to me, the intended purpose is to celebrate the week that we've all had together. and to congratulate everyone on a job well done that week. Giving it up for Fridays is one of my ways of encouraging you, to tell you that you did it, that we did it, that it was hopefully a successful week filled with laughter and joy. It's meant to tell you that I appreciate you and that I hope you have a great weekend and that I can't wait to hear all about it when I see you on Monday. So with that being said, class of 2019, you did it. Over the last 4 years, you did it together. You're moving on from high school with nothing but opportunity, excitement, and choices ahead of you. Please be wary of the things that bite, and never forget the power of positivity and kindness. I appreciate you, I love you, and I wish you nothing but the best for your future. I can't wait to hear all about it when I see you next. Let's give it up for Friday one last time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Swearingen, Assistant Principal and Fine Arts and Activities Director at Chanhassen High School. Every lucky high school administrator knows a cadre of students who he or she believes will change their community or our country or our world for the better. This next young man is such a student for me. Having known him his entire high school career, I have always been struck by his keen intelligence, his strong character, his empathetic imagination, and his courteous enthusiasm. Braden Johnson has been a 4-year member, now captain, of our debate team, distinguishing himself not only as a top competitor in the metro area, but at a state and national level as well. He is a co-president of our National Honor Society chapter, a section leader in the marching band, a trombone player in our top jazz band, co-president of the school's political activism club, a student ambassador for adult visitors to the building, and a link crew leader for incoming freshmen. His entire persona is that of a responsible and respected student leader, and I know he will make all of us even more proud of his accomplishments in the future. It is my distinct privilege to introduce our final student speaker, Mr. Braden Johnson.
Howdy, folks. Good afternoon, evening, I'm not exactly sure what it is. We're at this weird 5 o'clock time, but anyways, for those who don't know me, my name is Braden Johnson. I'm a debater, a runner, a trombonist, a pianist, an ex-vegan, and now a sweaty, mildly dazed 18-year-old in front of what seems like a million people. Next year, I will attend the University of Minnesota to study geography and global studies. I'm thrilled to be here as a graduate of the best class in 2019 years. Yet, as we gather here to celebrate, it's my distinct honor, and I want to take the time to recognize all those who have made this possible. Our teachers, staff members, our friends, family, coaches, everyone who has made this journey such an incredible time. Today, it's also important to remember those friends and family members who are no longer here with us. And I think back to second grade when my classmates and I at Victoria Elementary School lost the smile of Liberty Davidson, affectionately known as Libby. Libby was a friend at church and school. But all of us, not just Libby's classmates, have lost somebody along the way. These people are missed. I hope all of the people who have passed on and our community of supporters who are with us here today continue to inspire us to be the best versions of ourselves. This means living a life full of compassion, happiness, joy, curiosity, thankfulness, humility. And this ultimately looks like finding a fulfilling life and is something that's way easier said than actually being done. But the key to this fulfilling life is striving to be balanced. So may I present to you Braden's 3 bodacious bits of balance. Bodacious bit 1. Balance means taking the time to pursue both goals and human relationships. When I entered high school as a wide-eyed freshman, I quickly took up every single opportunity I possibly could have. I found myself swamped that fall trying to fill the demands of cross-country, debate, academics, church, and a fading social life. By my sophomore year, I worked hard to maintain the activities I took up as a freshman and decided to take on a few more things. By this point, I was starting to feel, well, utterly burnt out. Then after my sophomore year, I decided that I would give debate everything that I had. From that moment on, to consolidate my time to just doing debate in the falls, I decided that I would try and become the world's most ultimate debater. I left cross country, cut Netflix, YouTube, and deleted every single game on my phone. Then proceeded to color code all my apps and become a more efficient person. I put my head down and walked as far as I could go, and managed to make that an awfully successful but lonely and anxious time in my life. I never took a step back and realized how far I was behind. I had colleagues and acquaintances, but not very many friends. Now, the dust has settled, and retrospect is 2020. There is nothing wrong with lofty goals and the grit that kept me late up at night working, but everyone has their limits. So it's important to go bowling, out to dinner, to movies, to the Bury, golfing, fishing, biking, running, to plays, musicals, to parks, to play wood chips. It's also important to go to sporting events or really do whatever floats your boat, even during the busy weeks. Take time, lollygag a little, and smell the blossoming roses at Minnesota's own Arboretum. If you are finding yourself with but balance goes both ways. If you are finding yourself with a bit too much time, it's time to get busy. Give yourself a purpose and pursue what makes you happy. Pursue your passions, interests, and work. At very least, you've got a friend in Cade Plath. Bodacious bit 2. Balance means fostering a diverse community of friendships to give us multiple perspectives, cross cliques, and social boundaries. Be friends with the debate kids, football players, artists, musicians, etc. As we transition from high school to college or the workforce or a gap year or really whatever's next for us, it's important to meet new people, especially people with different personal, creed, ethnic, or political backgrounds than our own selves. By fostering these relationships, a mutual understanding and respect can be gained amongst people. It's far too easy to fall into the trap of generalizations. But if High School Musical taught us anything, it's that it's important not to label people and fall under stereotypes of generalizing large groups of people as one certain character. Look beneath the tip of the iceberg, and you will find happiness and balance. And this is sometimes a risky thing, but it's what E-Trade won't tell you. The value of social investments that seem risky but yield unfathomable benefits masqueraded by generalizations and fears of being judged. Balance is sometimes a difficult thing, but oftentimes being balanced by having a diverse community of friends is rewarding beyond all description. Bodacious bit 3. Balance means weighing expectations of ourselves and others against the truth of our own experiences. Expectations aren't always the reality. Trying new things can be amazing and enlightening, but not everything is always a good fit in our lives. I went vegan midway through my sophomore year. No milk, no dairy, no meat products. I accidentally swallowed a mosquito once, so I was kind of breaking the code there. But I made the dietary switch as I realized the environmental cost of meat and the amount of pollution it caused. I was trying to make a difference in the world, and certainly I felt like my morals were placed on a solid rock. And so as I made the dietary switch, I continued down, and I continued down a path that wasn't necessarily healthy for me. I lost a bunch of weight, and I just wasn't quite as happy as I used to be, and I was eating a lot of processed food, which dietitians tell you you're really not supposed to do, and being vegan for me just wasn't the right fit. And so, after a lot of thought and some difficult conversations, I decided to give it up. My expectations of myself had failed me. I expected myself to be this moral, upstanding character, and unfortunately was not able to be that person. But it goes further than that. For the last 4 years, I had participated in track. And for so many experiences and so many track meets, it was such a profound and amazing time in my life. But my junior year, it just wasn't quite clicking for me. I wasn't having the experience I had had the previous 3 years. I just wasn't quite happy with the way I was running, and I wasn't quite happy with myself while I was participating in track. I expected, and I felt like other people expected me to continue track. And it was extremely difficult for me to let that go and ultimately listen to myself and decide, it's not the right choice for me. It's not what makes me happy. So, it means that I may be more of a cyclist, but finding balance in my life means pursuing what experience shows is sustainable and fulfilling. Next year, I will have the opportunity to redefine myself. And it's important for me to seek out and look for what being balanced is in my life by listening to my own self. There's nothing worse than not engaging in the world around us by either trying to do too much or in some cases, not enough. Life is awfully bleak when balance isn't there. And so, get out there and meet new people. And what may be a good idea may not end up being the right fit. And that's perfectly okay. Last, don't forget to say thank you to your community of supporters. We wouldn't be here without these people. High school is over. So do what makes you happy, and do it well.
Thank you, Braden. Class of 2019, congratulations on completing your education at Chanhassen High School. You've met every challenge with brilliance and grace. Modified block schedules, changes to the wind schedule, 3 different lunch schedules every week. It's crazy. MAP testing, MCA testing, ACT testing, PSEO, and of course, who could ever forget Pat yelling at the top of his lungs? Thank you. Yeah, we're going to miss that, Pat. Class of 2019, our school community owes you a big congratulations and most importantly, a huge thank you. Parents, families, let's give these guys a round of applause. Mr. Klein, as principal of Chanhassen High School, and on behalf of the faculty and staff who have had the privilege of working with these young students, it is my honor to present to you and the school board of the schools of Eastern Carver County the graduating class of 2019 for the awarding of their diplomas. They have successfully met all requirements as set forth by the Minnesota Department of Education and the Board of Education of Eastern Carver County Schools. Mr. Klein?
Superintendent Christopher, fellow directors, faculty and staff, family and friends. Your school board up here, while elected, are parents first and foremost. We serve to support all that makes this graduation, one of our society's great traditions, continue. Some of us on the school board have sat in your seats and have had students walk up here and get their diplomas. Some down the road are going to be in your seats and look to experience that. Some are going to experience that tonight. So we are with you, we are one of you, And we are so enriched that everyone here has worked so hard to make this moment possible by supporting our graduates and our schools. Through your incredible support, our highly committed teachers and staff continue to develop and deliver programs recognized as leading the way to ensure all learners achieve their personal best. We recognize the journey is not always smooth, but by working together, our future is certainly brighter. So on behalf of your school board, thank you all for your commitment to Eastern Carver County Schools. So now those in the front of the room, all of the esteem that is brought upon our community and our schools is the result of remarkable performances just like yours. And we realize your successes have not been without some sacrifice and pain, but we appreciate your commitment and trust that you have learned that overcoming obstacles is easiest when we help each other in our schools and our community. You are now very well prepared to realize continued success and enrich both your lives in the future and those around you. We wish you all the best in your journey. So now, Mr. Unger, on behalf of the directors of the schools of Eastern Carver County, I am very proud to accept the class of 2019 for the awarding of your diplomas.
All right, it's that time, everybody. In a few seconds, each student in the graduating class will be called by name to cross the stage and receive his or her diploma. It's the culmination of 13 years of education captured in one brief and special moment. As I asked the class this morning during our rehearsal, we want to honor, respect, and support one another during this presentation. So I ask that tonight you hold your cheering and applause until all of the students have crossed the stage, first to last, and have enjoyed that special moment for themselves and with their families. Readers, deans, please bring the students forward at this time.
Olivia Ann Abraham.
Grace Anna Adsom.
Jackson Samuel Ulrich.
Patrick Crandall Ambrose.
Abigail Judith Anderson.
Ethan Isaac Anderson.
Jack Thomas Anderson.
Kira Marie Anderson.
Olivia May Anderson.
Reagan Rachel Anderson.
Ariana Elizabeth and Sarah.
Savannah Aline Antiel.
Lauren Christina Armani.
Charles Thomas Ash.
Emma Nicole Aspelin.
Jacob Michael Audette.
Zachary Brian Audette.
Isabella Rose Avadikanan.
Samuel Charles Bach.
Amanda Elizabeth Baker.
Jared Preston Baines.
Ryan Christopher Bangia.
Jenna Elizabeth Barsness.
Anna Lynn Baxter.
Bill Harrison Beedling III.
Grace Marie Becker.
Parker Douglas Bankstein.
Brooklyn May Berg.
Jacob Michael Best.
Sophia Sunga Biebighauser.
Isla Mackenzie Billings.
Kenzie Rose Binns.
Riley Jacob Bezick.
Shannon Renee Blake.
Callie Joe Bonk.
Najwa Dashana Bowers.
Jolina Vichita Buta.
Matthew Dan Boyum.
Bronwyn Irene Boyce Erickson.
Jordan Elizabeth Bragg.
Tanner Jordan Brady.
Jessica K. Brecky.
Dylan Nicholas Brockmeyer.
Laure Abrielle Briol.
Kyle Arthur Brick.
Cody Ryan Brown.
Daniel John Brown.
Zia Mackenzie Buckridge.
Madison Ann Breckelmeyer.
Gavin Zan Bunger.
Emma Ann Beisman.
Kagan Willow Butterworth.
Matthew Brian Bunkenberg.
Jack Michael Carver.
Vincent Allen Calton.
Eber Castillo Vargas.
Sophia Patricia Casagnetto.
Sarah Nicole Christensen.
Carson Thomas Krismer.
Angela Jean Chrislieb.
Torin Ronald Christensen.
Noah Robert Clausen.
Caitlin Elizabeth Claggett.
Dalton Kyle Cleve.
Thomas Allen Clausen.
Abby O'Brien Conlon.
Porter Andrew Conklin.
Sydney Leanne Copeland.
Matthew William Conyard.
Samuel Aaron Cruz.
Nicholas William Craig.
Michael Ryan Curry.
Abigail Marie Colhane.
Jenna Lynn Daub.
Anita Dowhang.
Elise Margaret DiLorenzo.
Chase Kincaid Davis.
Ryan Michael Deegan.
Amanda Grace Teresa Deerdorf Cobb.
Jasmine Marie Danasha.
Haley Mae Dean.
Emma Christine Dodge.
Kaylee Marissa Detmer.
Ryan Parker Druce.
Grace Rose Deering.
Justina Emily Dudziak.
Gavin Carl Ducklow.
Charles Lewis Duff.
Carter Robert Duff.
Benjamin J. Duppler.
Sophia Jean Duffy.
Sydney Taylor Eberhart.
Julia Breen Eastham.
Peter Christian Edlund.
Jared James Ebert.
Audrey Elizabeth Idem.
Preston Shane Edmond.
Trent Michael Eliason.
Aaron Nicholas Iden.
Aiden Gray Erickson.
Graham Hamilton Ellis.
James Michael Erickson.
Amelia Isabel Erickson.
Margaret Ann Erpelding.
Nathan Joseph Erickson.
Ryan Stephen Exner.
China Marie Evans.
Erica Lynn Fahey.
Coleman Patrick Fagan.
Luke Winston Ferderer.
Stephen Figueroa.
Cole Vincent Fisher.
Mason William Fisher.
Henry Winfield Fisher.
Lauren Alton Fox.
Olivia Grace Flemmer.
Carson Michael Funk.
Zachary Aaron Fox.
Alana Marie Gates.
Emma Catherine Gamache.
Benjamin William Gersh.
Benjamin Latieu George.
Bianca Melita Gibney.
Dylan Thomas Geshtak.
Miranda Bernadette Gilbertson.
Adam Michael Gilbert.
Amanda Marie Gluck.
Thomas Allen Glendenning.
Jacob Michael Grukowski.
Ethan Lee Godfrey.
Joseph David Granley.
Annika Colleen Grams.
Luis Osorio Grierson Nito.
Connor James Growls.
Caden Brian Groff.
Allison Brooks Grobel.
Anna Caroline Harstead.
Ben Alexander Gustafson.
Olivia Michelle Hawk.
Henry Paul Hayes.
Madeline Louise Hall.
Carson Thomas Hake.
Jackson Dean Hammond.
Sydney Grace Hammond.
Liliana May Hansen.
Tyson Mullen Hansen.
Kathleen Scarlett Hockey.
Cammie Lynn Hosworth.
Abigail Marie Hegarty.
Emma Grace Haydock.
Matthew Kenneth Heitkamp.
Gabriel Christian Heimdahl.
Thomas Robert Henry.
Alyssa Joan Helland.
Jack Gordon Hinsey.
Matthew Lee Hill.
Maya May Hodgins.
Erin Nicole Hawking.
Carson Alexander Halawadi.
Renee Madeline Hollis.
Ginny McGee Hurley.
Alexis Catherine Howman.
Carolyn Lenore Huss.
Mackenzie Jean Hurt.
Jonathan Michael Ingram.
Carter Paul Hewald.
Shelby Joe Jacobson.
Lydia Ann Jacobs.
Abdiquani Aiden Jama.
Emily Grace Jager.
Abigail Danielle Jensen.
Natalie Ann Jenkins.
Isabel Marine Yerkes.
Sean Richard Jesse.
Jessica Christine Johnson.
Braden Ivor Johnson.
Colin Richard Judding.
Peyton Timothy Johnson.
Austin James Couts.
Peyton Reed Capel.
Jack Robert Kelly.
Taylor Joe Kay.
Lincoln Theodore Kent Schneider.
Jacob Carl Kelly.
Carson Frederick Kibler.
Shay Jasmine Carey.
Rachel Marie Kimzel.
Reed Thomas Kilabarda.
Russell Scott Kinshu.
Shannon Margaret Kimsel.
Trent Hunter Kirkhoff.
Adam Robert King.
Zane Thomas Kleins.
Stephen Carl Klein.
Laura Marie Klingelhutz.
Alyssa Rose Klingelhutz.
Emily Lynn Cook.
Brianna Lee Knowles.
Annika Elise Kaler.
Andrew Thomas Codet. Nicholas Sean Kopp.
Krista Nicole Kurkowski.
Levi Andrew Kovic.
Mackenzie Elizabeth Kraft.
Carter James Krause.
Joshua David Krozak.
Brooke Kathleen Kriesel.
Nicole Jana Kriesel.
Grant Theodore Kroll.
Piper Carolyn Krish.
Jacob Christian Langheinrich.
Avery King Larson.
Carter John Larson.
Abigail Grace Lairdall.
Matthew Allen Lenzen.
Marin Jensen Leone.
Jenna Dale Lewis.
Joseph Lorenz Lindquist.
Mary Grace Elizabeth Lindsley.
Greta Ann Los.
Haley May Lorenz.
Andrew Joseph Lawaji.
Regan Ellie Lovett.
Alexandra Ray Love Jensen.
Hans David Lovig.
Matthew William Leake.
Anna Christine Lyons.
Brianna Rose Mack.
Zachary Walter Mayer.
Alec William Maher.
Grace Kelly Mandel.
Jackson Joseph Manna.
Dylan Alexander Marsky.
Taylor Giselle Marsky.
Gabrielle Christine Mashka.
Chloe Caroline Matson.
Leah Marie Matson.
Mary Elizabeth Mouse.
Jenna Elise MacArthur.
Sean Michael McClard.
Mackenzie Lee McCoy.
May Yihua McGee.
Mary Elizabeth McIntyre.
Brenya Lynn McNally.
Angelica Joy Mears.
Anthony Lei Mang.
Emma Roseanne Mertis.
Keegan James Meyer.
Logan Christopher Michael.
Kaylin Grace Millard.
Jacob Davis Miller.
James Pierre Miller.
Caitlin Ann Miller.
Mitchell Thomas Mollett.
Anna Rose Minarski.
Ella Ray Montang.
Riley Keith Moore.
Laura Alejandra Moreno Monte Miranda.
John Patrick Morley.
Caitlin Marie Mullen.
Mesa Kai Murray.
Paula Arquette Nagengast.
Grace Elizabeth Navarra.
Josephine K. Nelson.
Leah Nora Nelson.
Jake Matthew Nesberg.
Zachary Wade Nikens.
Dario Navarez.
Nathan James Nicholson.
John Oland Noble.
Eleanor Ann Nolan.
Jake Ronald Noonan.
Amaya Christine Nordis.
Delaney Rose O'Malley.
Sonia Christine Oldenkamp.
Leah McConnon Olson.
Stephen Isaiah Overland.
Alyssa Lynn Owens.
Angela Mina Park.
Valerie Susan Paul.
Zoe Marie Paulson.
Sophie Maria Paulishin.
Madison Paige Peterson.
Jordan Isabel Pemper.
Aaliyah Danielle Penny Alness.
Chastity Lee Perkins Bond.
Caroline Jane Pernat.
Ashley Rose Peters.
Derek Michael Peterson.
Ashley Marie Peterson.
Luke Timothy Peterson.
Rachel Ann Peterson.
Vasilis Katie Potison.
Brian John Pitts.
Jonah Bradley Pitson.
Natalie Sharon Plant.
Cade Allen Plath.
Carter Addison Plain.
Avery Stephen Poppin.
Grace Margaret Potenza.
Emily Ann Prescott.
Jordan Claire Queen.
Madeline Rose Rashke.
Caroline Mary Reed.
James George Reed.
Lauren Elaine Riley.
Carson Jesse Reinard.
Anna Louise Ryder.
Kyle James Remington.
Rachel Ruth Rendall.
James Robert Renner.
Mia Elise Richter.
Nathan Daniel Rickert.
Ellie Noel Risch.
Anna Beth Roberts.
Lauren Pearl Roberts.
Jared Ezekiel Rodriguez.
Sebastian Jose Rodriguez.
Caitlin May Rorick.
Brielle Grace Rower.
Angela Marie Rose.
Katrin Ann Rosenoff.
Rosriana Kenyatta Ross.
Ainsley Catherine Rouse.
Wyatt Gregory Rudolph.
Emma Catherine Ryan.
Olivia Ann Sotzer.
Zach Thomas Salem.
Abigail Leanne Sand.
Nicholas James Sandifer.
Lauren Isabel Sanders.
Taylor Alexa Rose Sanders.
Patricia Nicole Santiago.
Angelica Vida Sapchuk.
Kevin Scott Shablin.
Grant Henry Schaeferly.
Daniel James Shelsky.
Gregory Calvin Shep.
Emily Jean Scholl.
Joseph Maxwell Sholey.
Courtney Nicole Schultz.
Ellie Joe Schwartz.
Anna Kathleen Schwenninger.
Joseph Jeffrey Siebenaller.
Josie May Selton.
Karam Ahmad Shalabi.
Mariah Ann Shosted.
Dylan Edward Silva.
Sydney Ann Skogstad.
Cassandra Ann Smith.
India Talon Smith.
Megan Christine Smith.
Cole James Southwood.
Janine Renee Spate.
Austin Troy Spratt.
Jesse James Springer.
Lauren Marie St. Martin.
Abby McKenna Steffen.
Justine Kimberly Stellmacher.
Haven Rochelle Steer.
Luke Charles Strombeck.
Kayla Jean Swenson.
Dylan Peter Taunton.
Catherine Michelle Thomas.
Britta Lynn Thompson.
Haley Joe Thompson.
Irene May Louise Thompson.
Maverick Holiday Thompson.
Samuel Lloyd Thompson.
Savannah Bjork Torresdottir.
Emma Jane Tierney.
Regan William Tollefson.
Mike Oliver Gonzalez Ullman II.
Caleb John Urquhart.
Cody Dennis Van Dyke.
Maxwell Thomas Van Bergen.
Brandon Michael Van Houten.
Louis Michael Vanette.
Olivia Gail Vanucci.
Cameron Mitchell Vasagi.
Maya Velikovic.
Joshua Min Baker Vicchiolo.
Paige Madison Vick.
Keaton Cole Vogel.
Isla Voljevica.
Brian Thomas Wall.
Abigail Jane Walsh.
Sydney Margaret Walton.
Grant Alexander Walls.
Wesley Lawrence Wonkel.
Taylor Blease Juan.
Jake William Ward.
Julia Marie Ward.
Salma Khalif Warasami.
Sydney Ann Marie Winan.
Derek Lowell Work.
Matthew Joseph Westerhouse.
Michael Shane Douglas Whaley Jr.
Grace Elizabeth White.
Camila Dolly Wichterman.
Nicholas Ray Wickenhauser.
Gabrielle Ray Willison.
Nina Nicole Williams.
Elizabeth Ann Williamson.
Natalie Joy Williamson.
Preston Riley Willier.
Maya Elizabeth Wilson.
Olivia Ray Wilson.
William Thomas Wilson.
Dylan Andre Winchittle.
Kate Sheridan Wing.
Tyler John Winters.
Matthew Miller Wolfel.
Greta Elizabeth Wold.
Matthew Christopher Wold.
Danica Steen Wolf.
Sydney Kathleen Wongdock.
Blake Jonathan Washi.
Crystal Kirsuda Zayana.
Alexander Russell Young.
Callan William Zemek. Michael Robert Zugan.
Erica Danielle Zuhan. And Stephen Jacob Zunker.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, class of 2019. If you would, please stand, face your families and friends, and let's give them a round of applause for all the help they've given you over the last 13 years. Okay, you can turn around now. It's time for that age-old tradition of tossing our caps into the air. Just as we talked about, safely. So please take your tassel off. All right? I'm going to read a brief statement, and then we're going to count to 3, all toss our caps at the same time. So parents, if you want to capture that, get your cameras ready. Remember, after you toss your cap, do not look up in the air. No visits to ER tonight. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduated class of 2019 from Chanhassen High School. We wish you the best in your life's journey. 1, 2, 3.